Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. I'm dealing with part 2 today. We're speaking about steps of becoming more resilient in life as a young man. And I've spoken about part 1 yesterday, and I'm sure you have gone through that. But today I want to speak about a different dynamic regarding this thing of becoming resilient as a young man. If you are to become resilient in life, because you definitely need to become resilient, as I've said, because life is dynamic on itself, and if you don't become resilient, life will throw you out, and you'll find yourself irrelevant at some stage. You'll find yourself not fit into life, and that is why you find some getting to a point where they feel they are not finding it worth living. Because life, when you're not resilient enough, you're going to find yourself irrelevant. And immediately find yourself irrelevant, some become so stressed to a level of wanting to commit suicide as well. Now, as a young man, I want to urge you to rise up and become resilient in life, because life is not going to treat you with kid gloves. Life is not going to treat you comfortably, because life is not for mama's babies, of course. Life is for tough people, and that is why tough people last. And situations that are coming to beat them up, it will actually make them even more stronger. Tough people go through problems, but resilience is helping them to stand and become strong despite of the problems that they're faced up with. And that is why I want to emphasize that as a young man, be ready to become resilient and be excited about being resilient, because that's the only way you're going to cope up with life and walk through the path of life without fail and without feeling that you are irrelevant at any given time. Please make sure that you become resilient. But I want to speak about being in charge, because if you are going to be resilient, you need to take charge of your own career. You need to take charge of your own life. I want to emphasize this because it is very important that we sometimes hand over our lives to other people. We sometimes hand over our lives to our own parents as young men. Sometimes you hand over your life to friends and relatives and people around you, and you forget that you need to be in charge of your own life. This is very important. Now, resilience in life as a young man, you're going to cope to become resilient when you start to rise up to know that the life is yours. There's nobody who's going to step up and do things for you. There's nobody who's going to step up and make decisions for you, because even if somebody was to make decisions for you, but you have to be accountable of any result that come forth, any repercussions that follow, it is you who's going to bear the brunt. This is very important. So therefore, as a young man, so you need to take charge of your own life. You need to make sure that you are aware of your own destiny and take charge of your own destiny, because otherwise there's nobody in this life who's going to do that for you. Now, you can wait and wait for people and thinking that you'll get support for facing your own life. People may support you and help you here and there, but they're taking charge of your own life. Nobody will do that. So therefore, you need to rise up as a young man and be ready to take charge of your own life. Now, when we speak about taking charge of your own career, we're speaking about ability to know what you want in life. First of all, that will come when you know your destiny, when you know your purpose, when you know why did you show up on earth. Because if you know why did you show up on earth, therefore knowing your purpose, knowing your destiny, you're going to therefore shape up your career along and more in line with your direction or your destiny. Because aligning a career with your destiny, it is actually the most greatest thing ever, because it will fulfill you in the first place. There are people that have chosen careers that are not in line with their destiny, and therefore they are frustrated even after studying for so many years. You are frustrated with the same career that you do. But as a young man, I want to urge you, and some of you have just passed your grade 12 exams. Some of you were the class of 2022 in matric exams, and you are now having done with your schooling, having done with your high school education. I want to emphasize that it is time now for you to take charge of your own life, to take charge of your own career and make do with the decisions that you make now of things that you want to do from now on. Remember, at this stage, there will be people that advise you. But I want to urge you as well that you'll find people advising you with all different types of careers. And some advise you with careers that they think that you look like it. You look part of it. You look like you've got skills for it. You look like you've got the posture for it. You've got the body structure for it. And people will actually decide based on how they look at you, how they see you, and how they think that you can cope in a certain profession. People classify you basically maybe on whether you are an introvert and extrovert. People classify you because of your speech, how you talk, for instance. People will classify you because of what you're fond of, things that you look to be seamlessly doing them. But remember that deep down in you, you're the one who knows what is your destiny. You're the only one who knows what you are passionate about. You're the only one who knows what will fulfill you and what will make you happy. So that is why we emphasize in the fact that you need to take charge despite of all the suggestions of the people. Despite of directions that people are trying to give you, you need to take charge of your own destiny. You need to take charge of your own direction, because you're not going to start taking something else and then after that regret and blame people. Now, I want to emphasize the fact that blaming people thereof later may not help you as well, because people would have made choices of their own lives. So therefore, you have taken choices of other people and find yourself in a place where you're not happy. I must emphasize today that we are living life, that life of choices. Life is about decisions as well. And I want to emphasize that without making a conscious decision that you want to decide on your own and make your own choices that you'll be responsible of, people will make choices for you. If you're not ready to actually be resilient and look at how you want to be successful in your life and start shaping your own life, people will dictate to you how to shape your own life. And I want to emphasize that most of the time, you'll find that the friends that you are around who may not know what their own destinies are going to suggest you deviant behaviors based on how they feel at that moment. I want to emphasize right now as well that it is very important that as a young man, you don't go by emotions. You're not driven by emotions. You're not driven by the feelings. So you therefore become a sober young man who makes decisions based on soberness. Make decisions based on rational thinking. And please, whatever decision that you put up, you must have the future in mind. This is very important, because you cannot actually do things by just how you feel right now. You cannot actually make decisions just by how your friends feel or they're suggesting right now. So therefore, you must be rooted to your thoughts and to your own principles. And please shape up your life based on the principles as well, to an extent that even though people may try to suggest you other ways of doing things, but you are in charge of your own life. I want to emphasize this, that it is very, therefore, important to be in charge of your own life. So please be in charge of your own development as well. Because if you know what your career is all about, you know what your future is all about, you need to take charge of your own life to develop yourself in that regard, so that you can be empowered to do things that you dream of doing, or things that will lead you to the success of things that you're supposed to be doing. And I'm emphasizing this because it's very important. These are times when people are relying on other people, relying on friends, relying on people that are suggesting a life for you. But remember that at the end of the day, it is you who's going to live the life. Now, therefore, don't subject yourself to peer pressure. Don't follow what other people are doing. Don't copy people's behaviors and start becoming one. And I want to emphasize this. Take charge of your own life and be a man of your own self. There are those of you that copy lifestyles of celebrities, lifestyles of people known, seen on the screens, actors and people that are famous. You start to behave like them. But remember that that is not taking charge of your own life. That is allowing somebody's life to filtrate into your life, or to deviate you out of the way by following somebody's behavior. And you start to become somebody from the beginning, and therefore you lose yourself along the way. And I want to emphasize as a young man that when you take charge of your own development, please choose the studies that will help you to develop and become a better person, the courses that would actually assist you, degrees if it's a degree, or go to school for the particular skill that you need to adopt for the sake of your own future. Because that's taking charge of your own life. Nobody will do that for you, and nobody will push you into that until you make a decision that you want to be this particular individual. So please take charge of your own development as well. Take charge of your own destiny. Take charge of your own behavior. Take charge of your own thinking as well, because thoughts can therefore direct you to a certain path of your way. But take charge of your thoughts and make sure that you allow yourself to think soberly. And as I've said as well, make sure that you think also rationally. And everything that you do, you would have actually subjected that to a well thought process, so that whatever decision that you make is a well thought decision, and you can be able to do things based on well thought process as well. I want to end up here today, your host, Micornus Phokane. Thank you very much for listening to us once more. But before I check out, I want to remind you that please visit our YouTube channel, Micornus Phokane, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure that you also click notification buttons, like our Facebook page, Micornus Phokane, and Young Men Empowerment Forum, and make sure that you click those notification buttons as well. And you make sure that you learn and become a better person. You want to be resilient? Yes. Take charge of your own life. I want to check out right here your host, Micornus Phokane. Thank you very much for listening to us. Join us tomorrow as we deal with part 3 of this very same lesson. May the good Lord bless you. And cheers for now.